Ratburger by David Walliams, Chapter 26, The Executioner and Axe. Zoe's dad went to the same boozer every day, a flat-roofed pub on the edge of the estate, with the cross of St. George hanging above the door and a ferocious-looking Rottweiler tied up outside. It was not a place for little girls. Indeed, the law said that only over those 16 were allowed inside. Zoe was 12. Even worse, she was small for her age and looked younger. The Executioner and Axe was the name of the pub. It was even less welcoming than it sounded. Carefully stepping round the Rottweiler outside, Zoe peered in through the cracked window of the pub. She saw a man who looked like her dad sitting alone, slumped over a table, a half-full pint glass in his hand. He must have simply fallen asleep in the pub. She banged on the cracked window, but he didn't budge. Zoe knocked harder this time, but Dad did not rise from his slumber. Now Zoe had no choice but to break the law and go in. She took a deep breath and stood up on her tiptoes to make herself a bit taller, though there was zero chance anyone would think she was old enough to be in there. As the door swung open, several fat bald blokes wearing England football shirts turned round, and then down to Zoe's height. The pub was barely a place for women, let alone girls. "Get out of here!" shouted the ruddy-faced landlord. He also had a bald head, framed by some wisps of hair at the side, and a ponytail. There was a tattoo on his head which said West Ham. Actually, it didn't. It said Ma Twu. He had obviously done it himself in front of a mirror because it was all backwards. "No," said Zoe. "I need to get my dad." "I don't care," barked the landlord. "Get out of my pub." "If you chuck me out, I'll report you to the police for allowing underage drinkers in here." "What the blazes do you mean? Who?" Zoe took a sip of a toothless old man's pint from a nearby table. "Me," she said triumphantly before the disgusting taste of alcohol permeated her tongue and she felt suddenly more than a little sick. The ruddy-faced man with the ponytail was evidently quite befuddled by this logic and fell silent for a moment. Zoe approached her dad's table. "Dad!" she shouted. "Dad!" What's going on?" he said, waking up with a start. Zoe smiled at him. "Zoe, what on earth are you doing here? Don't tell me your mum sent you. She's not my mum, and no, she didn't. So why are you here? I need your help." "With what?" Zoe took a deep breath. "There's a man in a warehouse on the edge of town who, if we don't stop him right now, is about to turn my pet rat into a burger." Dad looked entirely unconvinced and pulled a face suggesting his daughter had gone more than a little loopy. "Pet rat? Burgers? Zoe, please." Dad rolled his eyes. "You're pulling my leg." Zoe looked at her father in the eye. "Have I ever lied to you, Dad? Ever?" "Well, This is important, Dad. Think. Have I ever lied to you?" Dad thought for a moment. "Well, you did say I would find another job." "You will, Dad. Trust me. You just have to never give up." "I have given up," said Dad sadly. Zoe looked at her father, so beaten by life. "You don't have to. Do you think I should just give up on my dream of having my own performing animal show?" Dad frowned. "No, of course not." "Well, let's make a deal that neither of us will forget our dreams then," said Zoe. Dad nodded uncertainly. Then she pressed the advantage. "And that's exactly why I need my rat back. I've been training him. He can do so many tricks already. He's going to be amazing." "But a warehouse? Burgers? All sounds a bit far-fetched." Zoe stared deep into her father's large eyes. "I am not lying to you, Dad. I promise." "Well, no, but," he spluttered. "There are no buts, Dad. I need your help now. This man threatened to turn me into a burger." A look of horror crossed her father's face. "What? You?" "Yes." "Not just the rats?" "No." "My little girl into a burger?" Zoe nodded slowly. Dad rose from his chair. "The evil man, I'll make him pay for that. Now, let me just have one more pint and then we'll go." "No, Dad, you need to come now." Just then, Dad's phone rang. The caller name flashed up on the screen. It read, "Dragon." "Who's Dragon?" "It's your mum. Sheila." So Dad had Sheila in his phone as Dragon. Zoe smiled for the first time in ages. Then Zoe had a horrible thought. Bert could be with her. Don't answer it, she implored. What do you mean, don't answer it? I'll be in so much trouble if I don't. He pressed the answer button on his phone. Yes, love, said Dad in an unconvincingly affectionate tone. Your stepdaughter? The little girl shook her head violently at Dad. No, I haven't seen her, lied Dad. Zoe breathed in a sigh of relief. Why? Dad listened for a moment, then put his hand over the receiver so what he was about to say could not be heard. There's a pest control man in the flat. He's looking for you. He said he's returning your pet rat to you unharmed, wants to give it to you personally just to be safe. It's a trap, whispered Zoe. He's the one who tried to kill me. If I see her, I'll call you straight away, my love. Bye-bye. Zoe could hear her stepmother screaming on the other end of the phone as Dad ended the call. Dad, we need to go to this warehouse right now. If we run, we might just beat him to it and save Armitage. Armitage? He's my pet rat. Oh, right. Dad thought for a minute. Why is he called that? Oh, it's a long story, Dad. Come on, let's go. There's no time to lose.